Hey everybody, just a quick note before we start this episode. We have a live show coming out.
Live show.
This October 17th at 8:30 p.m. at the Fat Black Pussycat, the Comedy Cellar Lounge in the back of the Fat Black Pussycat. We are doing a live version of Defend Your Movie. We've done a couple of these before, but this one's going to be really, really exciting. It's a great venue. We have a lot of fun things planned for the show. We have some guests involved. It's going to be a blast. So make sure you come out October 17th, 8:30. Fat Black Pussycat. You can go to ComedyCellar.com right now and make reservations. That's ComedyCellar.com. It's going to be blessed, right, Andy?
It's going to be great.
He's so excited. All right. Now enjoy the episode.
In a world full of movie podcasts, here is one more. Welcome to Defend Your Movie with Sean Donnelly.
The time has come again. A champion must stand. It can only be one of us. Victoria! So stand up and fight, my friend. There's a title you must defend. Shut it on, bring it to me. Defend your movie.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Defend Your Movie. I am your host, Sean Donnelly, joined by my co-host and pal, Andy Furia.
Hey, everybody. Good to be back.
Good to be back here doing Slinging the Movie podcast.
I love
news.
slinging a film. I love chucking a flick.
We've had a lot of fun lately. Things are going good. We're doing two-a-days these days. We're taping 2 episodes today, so we're excited about it.
Oh, you're pulling back the curtain on this.
I am.
Okay.
I think people deserve honesty.
Full disclosure.
I really do, yeah. Unless we just edit that out. But overall, I think people deserve honesty. I think people really like these episodes, so we've done them. This is the
4th.
This is the 4th one of these, and we only have... It's going to be... We have 1 left that we can do for real, and then we have 2 years left. 2 years, and then we can
God
do
willing.
one. Like, that's what we're just hoping. Like, I can't wait till 2020 so we can do one of these episodes. We're doing a Defend Your Decade.
Defend your decade.
And they've been really fun. And if you don't know how this works, we go over the Oscar nominees for every year for Best Picture in a decade. I either sometimes remember the winners. A lot of times I don't know what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
So I guess who I think won, and then we talk about maybe who should have won, and then
Did it
who
deserve
would have
it?
won now. Did it deserve it? Like, what was the climate? It's one of the things that really shocks me the more we do this show is that the idea of what's going on in popular culture, which makes sense because art is kind of, like life. Life imitates art.
Yeah,
Life dictates. Like, it makes sense because whatever's going on outside in the world kind of dictates what's happening in the movies, what things are getting nominated. It makes like the politics affects movie making. They're not exclusionary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
So it's kind of funny
Hollywood.
when you go back to the 80s and the 70s and you go, this movie won, this movie was nominated, and you're like, oh, that never would have happened now.
Yeah.
Also, things that maybe never would have been made now, like the way the climates are, it's interesting to me. So
Yeah.
it's a fun thing to do to go back. We're going back a little bit shorter now because we're getting into the
2000s.
recent times. We're going to do the 2000s, the aughts, which
Yeah.
that didn't catch on. It caught on. Maybe it shows that people back in the early 1900s were smarter.
We'll see what happens.
You think you're going to call it the aughts?
I thought you meant the decade of movies that never caught on.
Oh, no. I'm saying back in the early 1900s to 1910. I don't know when they called it the. Maybe they called it the aughts.
No, you're right. I think it was.
You think in the 1920s they were calling that the aughts?
I think so. Yeah, I think people would be like, "Yeah, back in '08."
'08, right?
You know?
Yeah, right. Now we say '08.
Right.
So, it is a good decade. To be honest, nothing jumps out in my brain except for one particular year that we just did last week.
Yes, last week's.
That's the only one that really pops out in my brain. So I'm really curious to find out.
It's a pretty good decade. Not my favorite decade, but I'll let you guys decide for yourselves.
Let me ask you this before we start. If you could time travel and you they told you have to something happened, you have to leave and you have to go live in a different decade, and that's the only time you can live in. What time would you live in?
I have thought about this a lot, and I think I come back to the 70s a lot.
Would you really?
Yeah. Would you do?
I think I would do the 60s.
Really?
60s or the 50s. I think it was like really interesting to me.
Yeah.
But
I mean, all in, music and movies and culture and everything.
70s.
I think I pick 70s. Yeah.
Maybe I don't pick the 70s because I was like alive in the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I only had about a year, but
Yeah. Me too.
I guess
had 2
technically,
years.
yeah. I'm like, oh, what I was.
But I'm still like, 70s seems closer.
Right.
But then I think about it, I'm like, yeah, the 60s, mostly because I used to say the 60s because, and it's a really sad reason, because of the JFK assassination.
Really?
I was so into it when I was a kid. I was like, I want to go back to that time. I just want to see what it would feel like to be in that time. Like, one of the things, not to get too off topic, but like one of the things that I learned only recently is that after the JFK assassination happened, more than half the country thought it was a conspiracy right away.
Oh, yeah.
That's why people go back to that time as like the end of innocence in the country. And like they call it the end of Camelot because before that it was like this very like romanticized version of the country, and everybody would ignore the problems because there was tons of shit going on.
Yeah.
Civil rights movement was going on. But people kind of like, basically white people were sitting there going, no, it was so much nicer, it was pleasant, and people know how to talk to each other. And then you got to him dying, and that shook people's faith in government, and then shook people's faith in other things, and then things kind of rolled out after that.
I would say the only more contemporary version would be 9/11.
Right.
Where people, if you're somebody like our age, you go, no, I remember the significant switch of culture and how people acted before 9/11 and after.
I remember
to me,
it too.
As somebody not alive in the 60s, I understand that because I go, no, it is different now.
It's different.
It just was different.
Also, and we talked about this, we've mentioned this before on the podcast, movies. Movies were different. Movies were a little bit more innocent. Like if you go to 80s, 90s movies, a little bit more like there was a different, they weren't worried about certain things. Like social strategy, social message wasn't
you
as
didn't have
much
to
of
worry,
a thing.
Right, yeah.
And then now it's completely, you're right, it's completely different now. And I do see the difference because you're right, because that's probably what happened back in the 60s.
Right. Well, before we jump into it, I did watch a movie this week, and hearkening back to a simpler time, I watched the documentary "Won't You Be My Neighbor" about Mr. Rogers.
I almost watched that last night. But I didn't want to get sad.
It's a tearjerker, obviously, but just a sweet guy, and you want to. He did things for the right reasons,
Yeah, like a true, pure, good dude.
Yeah, but it's funny though they acknowledge the fact that people go, oh well, he's responsible for the every kid feeling special and every kid getting a trophy movement. A lot of that. I watch it all the time, and I don't feel like that whatsoever.
No, I watched it as a kid, and
I can understand that point.
That was our generation. I don't think we don't have the.
He ended in 2000. And then he came. They make a big point about this. They ended in 2000. He came back and did a few special episodes after 9/11.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So that's.
But if he wasn't responsible for one generation, why would he be responsible for another one? Becoming a bunch of pussies?
He was on for 4 decades.
Right, exactly.
But
so
I don't know if he's rerun now. So maybe.
I don't think it's his fault. I think you had
people pointed at it as there's a great example of this new philosophy that adults, I don't think necessarily maybe making children feel special, but I think a lot of adults may have taken his lead and coddled. You know what I mean?
I believe more than the other one. That it was just him telling these kids.
I don't think. I think it was more the mentality.
Well, he did that episode about. Oh, he did that millennial episode where he said, "Don't work for somebody, start your own business." Remember that?
Yeah.
It's the credo of the millennials.
Yeah.
He goes, listen, kids.
He had an Adidas vest instead of the sweater.
Did you ever hear about, I used to watch reruns of Soupy Sales with my dad. Did you ever know Soupy Sales? Did you ever hear Soupy?
Soupy
Alex
just
well, Alex is a time traveler. Alex is from the 50s.
I know of Soupy Sales. I can't say it.
Well, he got in trouble because 2 things he got in trouble for. One, he did a joke on a kid's show. I think it was on the afternoon, but it was still a kid's show, where he said, I took my girlfriend to a baseball game. I kissed her in between the strikes. She kissed me in between the balls. And he said that, I said that on TV, and I think he got fined or banned for that. And then he also, as a joke one day, said, okay, kids, We're going to play a game. You're going to go into mommy's pocketbook or daddy's pants, and you know all that green paper that's in there? Just put it in an envelope and send it here to Subi. And kids did it. And
That's great.
I think that's why he got fired. I could be wrong about that. But
if you're looking for a nice documentary, and it's not necessarily a feel-good documentary. It is when you do walk away.
Really?
It's good, but you are going to probably cry and feel sad.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You know?
All right. Well,
I wouldn't say it was great, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
The guy did a good thing. And also, it's also great to watch stuff like that where there's, no cynicism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's not a thing about Mr. Rogers where, there's, jokes implicating that he, molested the kids or something. You know what I'm saying? Where it's
They cover that. You know,
Yeah.
They cover some of the satires that,
have been made about it.
And he was, he was like, I do have a good sense of humor, but I can't remember the one he had a problem with. It was, some of them obviously were pointed. I mean, people thought he was gay for, a long time. But it was good. I would recommend it if, I watched it as a kid, so I was just like, yeah. And it was highly recommended.
I'm going to check it out. All right, let's go into the aughts. I'm going to call them the
new
aughts
millennium.
from now on. The Numanium. There we go.
There it is.
There it is. There's the Seinfeld reference for the episode.
Starting with the year 2000, I think you know this one. The nominees are Traffic, Erin Brockovich, Gladiator, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Chocolat. So if you listen to last week's episode, I made a Chocolat reference.
2000 would be Gladiator.
Correct, sir.
And I think
they got it right.
I'll tell you right now, it wouldn't have won now.
Erin Brockovich would have been the clear-cut winner in 2018.
Absolutely. That would have been a hashtag Me Too kind of award.
What do you mean by Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? Stop trying to co-opt.
Why is that tiger man spreading?
Why isn't there an E on the end of Chocolat?
Why do you have to man crouch?
Man crouch.
What does his penis have to be out as he's performing kung fu?
Oh, that's great. I think Traffic's a shit movie, to be honest. It's
one of those ones that it's like time kind of tells you.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about Traffic anymore as a renowned classic.
Bad year. Not off to a good start, 2000.
But Gladiator
is definitely the winner.
It was such a big deal when it came out, and also also
we argued it recently, I think.
We did. Gladiator versus Fight Club.
Yes.
And I love it. I'll watch it every time it's on. It's actually one of those movies that I think they did a great job with it. I think one of the things was the blockbuster aspect to it.
Yeah.
I think people loved.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, they were trying to mimic that movie for years to come, like Troy and all that.
Yeah.
Look at all that
Troy,
stuff.
True.
All right, 2001.
2001, the nominees are A Beautiful Mind, In the Bedroom, Gosford Park, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and Moulin Rouge.
Okay, Lord of the Rings won. No.
Incorrect.
Oh, shoot. Was it?
I'll give you a second.
Oh, wait, was it one that... Was it? No, oh my God! See, I don't know these winners.
I'll tell you, it's Russell Crowe is really coming out of the gate strong in this decade.
Oh wait,
Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful Mind. Okay, yeah. Okay,
she stars in.
Yeah,
Princeton professor, kind of.
Yeah, the guy who loses his mind. Yeah.
And
also another movie that apparently really wasn't based in reality. Said it was based in reality and wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
I like In the Bedroom out of this group, to be honest.
That's with Marissa Tomei, right?
In the Bedroom was with I can't remember. He's older. What's his name?
Not Richard Gere. No.
No. I'll look it up real quick. But Gosford Park is Robert Altman, who I love. I don't know if you've seen.
People love Robert Altman. I've seen a bunch of Robert Altman movies. I like The Player.
I'll say this: more technique than movie overall. I mean, he's one of those you'd study Robert Altman in film school about.
Yeah.
What's the one? It's not Swimming with Sharks. Is it Swimming with Sharks? Where there's not a cut for 10 minutes. There's not. It just zooms. It doesn't.
Nashville.
No.
Swimming with Sharks isn't Robert Altman. The Player.
The Player. Yes, thank you. But In the Bedroom, to get back to it, is Tom Wilkinson, Sissy Spacek.
Tom Wilkinson, Sissy Spacek.
Yeah, it's just it's like a family. They're all it's in Maine, and I don't know.
I remember that group, I saw that.
Moulin Rouge. I never bothered to see.
I fucking hate that guy. I think he sucks. What's his name? The Romeo and Juliet guy. I think it's all parlor tricks. I think the guy makes shitty movies. He just made some other TV show that sucked. The one about you want to talk about the 70s? It was New York in the 70s. What the hell is that guy's
The Deuce? Was that?
No. It was the one. It was about the Bronx in the 70s, and it was done in that.
Not The Bronx is Burning.
No, that's ESPN. No, this was on Netflix. And that was about the Yankees. The Bronx is Burning. This is like. It was just about how shitty the Bronx was in the 70s. But like, what's that guy's name?
The director?
Yeah. What? The Get Down.
Boz Lerman.
Boz Lerman.
Yeah,
Fuck that guy. Come on. Can we just admit that he just makes shitty stuff?
Yeah.
Like
I'll
he's basically he's just making like high school plays, but as movies. Like Romeo and Juliet was nothing special. Moulin Rouge, I don't think I see all of it. I like it's a musical.
No, I know.
And then on top of it, he did the Get Down. Correct? Am I right about that? I'm almost positive he either executive produced it or he directed it, and it was such a bad show.
Well,
maybe it's not for me. I get that.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So 2000.
I'm sure it has its place.
2002.
Yeah. 2002, you have The Pianist, Chicago, Gangs of New York, The Hours, and Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Chicago won.
Chicago won 2002.
Yeah, Chicago won like everything, like sweet,
yes,
right?
I think it was tied the record number of Oscars.
And I think that also is wrong. I think that there's a bunch of other ones that probably could have won it. Read them again for me. I'm sorry.
Chicago's the winner. Gangs of New York, The Hours, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Pianist. My favorite is Gangs of New York out of that.
Gangs of New York's
I'm
my
not a fan
favorite.
of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, either am I. I haven't seen them.
The Hours is not. Yeah, me neither. The Hours is not bad, and The Pianist is not bad, but
The Hours was famous because of what's her name's nose. Let's be honest. They were so. Whenever that happens, that's another thing in Hollywood that happens.
Yeah.
Whenever you take a really beautiful person in Hollywood and then they make them uglier, people can't believe it and they go, "This is so brave."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Shut up!"
I know.
Like American Hustle. We've talked about that in the show before. The only reason people love that movie is because you made Christian Bale fat and bald.
I didn't like it in the theater.
I didn't like it at all. I hate it. I think it's
David
such
O.
a
Russell.
joke. What?
That's David O. Russell. We were talking about him
Yes,
last week.
that's David O. Russell too. You're right. There's only one part in that I really laughed at, where they're calling him out. They're calling him out for fucking up the deal, like the mayor's family, because the mayor's going to go to jail. Whatever that guy, who Jeremy Renner played, who should not have played that part. That should have gone to a character actor,
Totally.
a 50-year-old Italian character actor. Like a good one.
Yeah.
And he walks in and he's like, and like the wife is hitting him for he's like, you're fucked up.
Right.
And then he turns around and all the kids are on the stairs and they're like, what happened? So he's just getting it from all angles. And he's like, And like that was really funny. Like it was just like this really terrible part. But like, overall, like that movie, people liked it because like I had Gondelman came in and defended it, but he liked it. He didn't he wasn't like a apologist. He was it's kind of shitty, but like whenever you have that happen, people can't believe it. Like whenever somebody gains a lot of weight or loses a lot of weight,
right.
or it's like some physicality thing is done. People go, oh my God, this is so brave. So on The Hours, it was Nicole Kidman. They put like a weird bumpy nose on her. People are like, can you believe she let that happen? Yeah, I can. Who cares? It's makeup. People know it's makeup.
I know. Please.
I know it's movies and like whatever, but come on.
Well, not off to a strong start for the decade.
No, not really.
Garbage so far.
Yeah.
2003, Seabiscuit, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. The Lord of the Rings had a hell of a run here.
I know.
3 in a row. The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Seabiscuit, Mystic River, Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, and Lost in Translation.
Mystic River won.
Incorrect.
Oh, fuck. That's what should have won, let's be honest.
I think out of that list, yes, that I don't think Lost in Translation
was it Lord of the Rings that won?
Yeah, it was Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, which is the second sequel ever since Godfather Part 2 to win Best Picture.
Right, because we talked about that.
We talked about Final Jeopardy.
That's right.
My favorites are Mystic River and Lost in Translation. Lost in Translation, I don't think had the as a whole to put it over the edge as Best Picture.
No,
but a good.
But
I
great.
think it won. I think she won Best
to be
Original
honest,
Screenplay
I think
for that.
If it was today, I think Lost in Translation would have won. I think if you take away Lord of the Rings, even
I
think
think
Lord of the
Master and
Lost in,
Commander.
Master and Commander was. I think it was just on there because it was. Is it Russell Crowe?
Yeah,
I think that's why.
I
it was
mean,
on there.
Crow having a hell of a start.
Nobody knew why that movie was on there. I remember thinking people. Whenever you have, that's another thing that happens with those movies when they're like, it was like Ballistic X versus Server. Remember they had that movie out for a while.
Yeah.
And people are like, what is that?
Right.
Like, it kind of is pretty. We should do a whole episode on that. Like, it's interesting to find out. Like titles matter. Like titles.
Absolutely.
There was a recent comedy that called Cock Blockers, but they couldn't put that on all the posters. We've talked about
blockers.
It's
with
called
like
blockers.
with like an emoji before it.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
I'll be honest. I've never seen Seabiscuit.
Neither have I.
Okay,
I've never
good.
seen it either.
Glad we're agreed.
And
I don't think it
also because
warrants.
I feel like it's going to be really sad, and
Yeah.
I've seen
Mr. River a bunch.
Mr.
And
River's
it's a
in-
solid. Does it pass the flip test for you? I think it just does not.
Just
for
does
me.
not. Yeah, it
but
just
it's.
does not.
I'll stick around if I got nothing. If I got nothing to do, if something else is on, I'll be flipping while it's on. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. You
know?
don't go back and keep it on.
Shout out to my friend's dad, who's had a small part in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. No, Mr. River is a really, and that's who did it?
Eastwood.
Eastwood, right? Yeah, it's a really good, really good movie.
It's an Eastwood
Lost in
movie.
Translation, I think, is like you kind of get more into Lost in Translation. Like I like, yeah, Mr. Rivers is like straight up sad. Lost in Translation is like cool and sad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a coolness factor to Lost in Translation.
Yeah, of course.
And we
'cause you
talked
can just
about her
go-
the other day. We talked about Sofia Coppola.
Yeah.
Terrible actress, great director. Great behind the scenes here.
I think Bill Murray's so strong
Yeah.
in Lost in Translation.
It's like his
you
dryness
could just
to
see
a T.
him being himself. And
Yeah.
You could just see him like, let him go. Just
Yeah.
let him do it, whatever.
I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah, and I love Bill Murray.
You fall in love, obviously, with Scarlett Johansson in that movie.
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
overall, it's got some dry spots, but Murray carries it. And there's such a funny Family Guy when the four main men characters all sitting around the bar, and somehow it comes up. He goes, "What do you?" I think it's Cleveland. He's like, "What do you think she said?" He said to her at the end. And he goes, "I don't know, but I bet it was perfect." Because you don't know. I bet it was just right.
So Lord of the Rings won, right?
Lord of the Rings won. It was nominated the prior 2 years,
Yeah.
but this is the one that
I feel
took
like you
home the statue.
That's because they knew it was the last one. It's like some of these are politics. It's like, come on, do something interesting.
I just don't like Peter Jackson's movies. You know.
Well, the other ones he makes don't really do that well. He did I did King Kong, and he did that wasn't that great. I think I saw it when it came out.
Right.
Yeah, he just whatever. He's a big movie maker, but it's like I'm not like all right. J.J. Abrams, I love. Like J.J. Abrams, I'll watch anything he does. And mostly because I loved him from Lost, but he actually knows what he's doing. But also, the Lord of the Rings guy does too. I'm just not into fantasy stuff. But all right, what's next? 2004?
04.
Yeah.
You have The Aviator, $1 Million Baby, Finding Neverland, Ray, and Sideways.
That's a good year. That's
Really?
A lot of those are still
The best year yet, maybe.
yeah, best year yet in the aughts.
Aught 4.
Wait, say that first feeling again. Wait, what was
The
it?
Aviator, $1 Million Baby, Finding Neverland, Ray,
$1 Million
and
Baby
Sideways.
won.
$1 Million Baby did win.
Yeah,
Again, Eastwood.
Yeah.
It's a very Eastwood movie.
does it hold up?
Doesn't pass my flip test. I'll tell you that much for free.
No way. It's too depressing.
Yeah, it's a good story the first time out, and then I don't think it holds. You go, all right, I'm good after seeing it.
Yeah.
I like Ray. I like Sideways. The Aviator I like too. Finding Neverland, I don't know if I ever even saw.
Finding Neverland, I never saw. So the other ones,
Sideways
I
is
would say
okay.
I was surprised that Sideways didn't win because I think Sideways kind of holds up the
It
best.
does
out of
hold
all
up a
of
little
them.
bit.
Yeah.
It's a little pretentious.
Yeah, but that's kind of
Giamatti's
the- that's-
good. Yeah, I know. Like that's
kind of the joke. Yeah.
Ray, I mean, Jamie Foxx won Best Actor in the worst fucking acceptance speech I've ever seen in my life.
What was his extent?
He gets there, he's like, "Hey, ho!" Like he has the crowd doing it with. Get the fuck off. Just be gracious about it. Fuck you.
Is that what he did? Like a sing along?
Yeah, it's just come on.
Like everybody else, like
I get it, but come on. Ugh. I like. Do I
get
sound
it,
like
I
a
get it.
stuffy
It's like-
white guy? I'm
no,
like, gracefully accept your Oscar.
I know what you're saying. Like it's you want him to go up there and give like a nice thought
Yeah,
out
I'm
speech.
sure I'd freak out.
Did he have a
probably.
speech after that, or just said?
That's all that sticks out in my mind.
What?
I've erased
That was
everything
it.
else.
I don't
But
remember
now,
the speech.
Yeah, I think
He might have been doing that to be in the reel of like
did he win Best Act before Denzel? No, because Denzel won it for Training Day, right?
Yeah, and
I
that
remember
was-
there was like
99, right? Or what was the training day?
because wasn't there a thing where Sidney Poitier never won? There was like a Best Actor. No black guy ever won Best Actor for
Yeah, I think so.
until Denzel.
Yeah, it was like insane. And then I think Halle Berry
Yeah.
was the first black woman.
Oh right, that was even crazy.
For Monsters Ball, which
Yes.
and that's insane that didn't happen. That's what's
back
really
blown
funny,
out.
kind of hypocritical about Hollywood. It's like
Yeah, of
you have all
course.
these liberals, everybody's so liberal, but then it's like, but you're
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
nominating people of color for your stuff,
Right.
And now that's happening.
Now
but,
that's
like,
happening, but now I think it's a thing of
they're being forced to.
it's affirmative action almost, where it's not based on merit.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
which I disagree with wholeheartedly, but that's for another Defend Your Honor podcast. 2005, very, very contentious year
Okay.
for a lot of people, especially now that time has passed. You have Munich, Crash, Brokeback Mountain, Capote, and Good Night and Good Luck.
Okay, Brokeback Mountain won.
Incorrect.
Oh,
I like the ones when Sean's so confident. All right, well, I know this one for sure. It's definitely Brokeback. No, it's not.
Wait.
All right.
wait, name the other ones again. Oh, Crash won.
Crash won.
Right?
What is maybe
oh my
the worst
God.
Best Picture movie of all time? Not really.
We
but
did.
Maybe.
Jim Norton defended Crash on the show
Right,
before we were
right.
doing verses, and I watched it for that reason. And what a not
Piece of
what,
shit.
What a one note, not even one note, just like it's like a seventh grader's idea of what's controversial.
It's like, hey, I love Pulp Fiction. Let me try and do this circular connecting.
racism-based Pulp
Fuck
Fiction.
off,
Yeah,
Crash.
yeah, but it doesn't hold up. Like now, there's all sorts of indictments
no.
on Paul Haggis and the movie itself, and
You're gonna kill me on this one.
but this which one?
for this year,
Which one?
I've never seen Brokeback.
Oh, that's fine. I saw it once,
But I heard it's great.
It's great. It's good. But it's like, but it's also the thing where even Brokeback, it's like, you know what the sleeper out of that is? People talk about more now? Munich. People
I like Munich
I
a
never
lot.
saw Munich.
Munic's good.
I'm
It's a
going to watch
Spielberg.
Munich this weekend, I think.
Good Night and Good Luck's a great movie.
That's the Clooney one about Edward R. Murrow, right?
Edward R. Murrow, yeah. And really, really good. Capote is okay. It's more Philip Seymour Hoffman than the movie.
And also
I think.
that year there was 2 Capote movies, wasn't there? No. Or was that later on?
I don't.
One
the other
where-
one's In Cold Blood, I think. The actual where they made the movie about the book.
Right. Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I like Munich a lot. I didn't see it until recently, until a few years ago, and I watched it. Watched it at home, and I got caught up in the whole thing.
But it's one of those things that if
Very
it was
good,
now,
very
maybe
interesting,
Munich
the most-
would have
yeah.
won. You know, like
Yeah.
it's almost like a sleeper hit.
Oh,
People-
now come on, Brokeback would have taken the home.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, but yeah,
This is 2005 dollars we're talking.
yeah, not that long ago, long enough ago.
But I think you definitely got it wrong. I think this is one of the ones when we talk about the movie that won being the worst out of the nominations.
yeah, absolutely.
Good Night, Good Luck, Munich, Capote, Brokeback are far better movies altogether. That on their own, still I think would hold up as individual movies.
I bet you
much
it was,
better than Crash.
It was the theme. It was the
Yeah.
racism theme that did it.
Well, we all know 2006, The Departed, Letters from Iwo Jima, Little Miss Sunshine, The Queen, and Babel, however you want to say it.
Departed. No, Little Miss Sunshine won. Departed won.
Correct. I was coaching.
I need your help. You were nodding. I wasn't sure if you just went for best
This
director
is-
and there was a different picture, which would have made no sense, but that does happen sometimes.
Yes, it does.
I think that was. Let me see.
Babel, I don't like. Babel, it's a weird movie. I don't love it.
don't think I even saw
The
it.
Queen is whatever.
Queen's whatever. Little Miss Sunshine's good.
It is good. Letters from Iwo Jima, I don't even really remember.
I don't either do I.
I love Little Miss Sunshine. I think it's a great. Alan Arkin's great in it. Steve Carell's great in it.
Yeah.
Toni Collette's great in it. You introduced I can't remember her name now, even though she's grown up to be an adult actress.
What's her name?
She's a super fun kid. You're pulling for her and rooting for her. the whole time.
Yeah, she's awesome.
It's a funny set. Like, it's just good. You have
Do you
a lot of
think
things I like about that movie.
if it wasn't Scorsese with Departed and it was so close to Goodfellas, and people think this was like a almost like
This was the makeup for
the makeup for Goodfellas,
Yeah.
then Little Miss Sunshine would have won.
Yes, I do.
And I think it's still to this day, Little Miss Sunshine should have won probably.
Yeah, I agree. We all know my thoughts on The Departed.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we went back and forth, and you also, and that you see it informs my decision now because I'm like, yeah, Departed does not. It's not what I thought it was.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Now this, if you listen to last week's episode, 2007, hotly debated.
Yes.
We already talked about it, so we'll just go over it. But I forgot, and in my opinion, this is the strongest year of the decade. Obviously, for the winner,
definitely. Yeah.
We know No Country for Old Men. We talked about it all last week. Won the Best Picture.
If you haven't listened to the episode, go back to last week.
Yeah, stop skipping around.
Yeah,
you got to go in order.
Blood versus No Country, and so we went into detail.
Shawnee Time won.
I won.
So yes, There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men. Michael Clayton, Juno, and Atonement.
Wait
I
a
forgot
minute.
Michael Clayton was in that year.
I forgot too. Hold on, dude.
It's one of my favorites. I love Michael Clayton.
Michael Clayton, to me, Michael Clayton is quickly rising the ranks
It's a
of my
fucking
favorite
great
movies.
movie, man.
You want to talk about emotion? We talked about it before. We didn't do it in the podcast, but we talked about it. Strongest movie of the decade?
We should do an episode, what's the strongest Oscar year ever?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good Defend Your Year.
Defend Your Year. I think that's right up there. You can't beat that.
It's up there.
Michael Clayton is such a put-together, cool, wonderfully written, wonderfully acted movie. And just a straightforward, it's fucking great.
It's a beautiful, well-acted movie.
Yes.
It's great.
That's the scene at the end of Michael Clayton when he goes in the taxi.
Just drive.
Made me cry the first time I saw it because it's almost like the same way that he's kind of taking a deep breath. You take a deep breath yourself watching the movie. Like it's almost like you're like all this build up,
Boy,
and then it pays
feel
off.
Bad that it just got stuck in that year with No Country and There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, the other ones it makes sense why they won. But to be honest, it's really I talk about No Country so much.
It's a really good movie.
It's a really good movie, and it's climbing. It's in my top 10. It's definitely in my top 10.
Would you take Michael Clayton over There Will Be Blood?
Yes, I would. I would. Yeah, I would. Now that we're talking about it, yeah, I think I would. Just because, yeah, I would. I
forgot about that.
What else was that year again?
Juno, which is
Juno was good.
In the moment, it was fun, and
it was
now
like Little Miss
it's a little
Sunshine.
dated.
It was like
And Atonement, which I don't really remember.
Atonement, I don't remember that much. Okay, what's the next year? Oh man, yeah, Michael.
What
Clayton.
a year!
We should do Michael Clayton verse something because
absolutely.
I'll sit there
that
and
could be a. I'll think about that one.
Yeah.
2008, coming into the last 2 years of the decade. The Reader, Slumdog Millionaire, Milk, Frost Nixon, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Okay, Milk won.
Wrong.
Fuck.
You're 0 for the decade, I think.
Not Milk. I'm sorry, not Milk. I said Milk one?
Yeah.
No, I meant, what was the first one you said?
Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog Millionaire. That's the one I meant. I swear to God, I had it in my head. If I just said Milk, I swear I had that one.
Yeah, Slumdog Millionaire won. Not a bad year, to be honest. I've seen all these. The Reader's very depressing.
I think if they did it now, Frost Nixon would be more of a contender. I think people talking about Frost Nixon more now than they ever did.
I think Slumdog or Milk would win. I think Slumdog might have
edged it out.
Milk is a good movie.
Milk's
about
a good
Harvey
movie.
Milk, in terms
Harvey
of the
Milk.
first gay public official. Good, well-made movie. Frost Nixon's a great movie, too.
Yeah. Yeah, Frost Nixon, and also, they did a lot with less. You know what I'm saying? There's, if you look at less set pieces, you're looking at less, less pizzazz, and then to do really good with that. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about.
And The Curious Case...
I sounded like an idiot when I just said that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think more with less is a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
And Benjamin Button, I don't hate. I think it's a fine
I never
movie.
saw Benjamin Button.
Oh, really? To me, it's good.
Yeah. Does it deserve to be up there with the other ones?
Yeah, because there's in that year.
Yeah.
I think Benjamin Button's my least favorite on that list, but I like it. Do I think the best movie won? No.
Yeah.
I would probably take Milk or Frost Nixon above Slumdog.
I think Benjamin
that's
Button,
my order.
Benjamin Button became such a punchline that they probably heard it over the years.
Yeah.
Because even I have used that in riffing on stand-up. Yeah.
Now, we have
2009,
the first year they brought back more than 5 nominees. So you got a whole big pool here to choose from.
So it used to be like that, and they got rid of it, and
Yes,
they brought it back?
it did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. They used to have more than 5, and then they cut it down to 5, and now they're back. Which I think they should go back to 5, to be honest. There's too much garbage getting in there where you're going.
They go from 5 to like 8 or 10, right? Or
I think
it's 10 or something.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9, wow.
Yeah. And a decent year, to be honest.
Maybe that's why they did it that year, because we have to do these.
We have Up in the Air. Wow, I wonder if this
Great movie.
Great movie. We have Up. And I wonder
There's
if that's...
only movies with Up in the
I
title.
know. I wonder if that's ever happened before. Where it's just...
Up and Up in the Air. Oh, I'm sure it has. Maybe not, though.
Up in the Air, Up, The Hurt Locker,
Up yours.
Avatar,
Up your block.
Avatar, The Blind Side, District 9, Inglourious Bastards, and A Serious Man.
See, you're right. They did it too
That's
soon.
too many.
District 9 should not be on that list.
But a good movie.
Good movie.
But a really fun, good movie.
But should not be nominated for Best Picture. That was obviously... Serious Man was a cool movie, but I think you had to be a Jewish teenager in the 60s to appreciate it.
It's better on repeated viewings, though. It's one of the Coens where I saw it a few more times, and you go, oh, great acting, great. But it's a Coen, but it's not... It's not Fargo. It's not...
I think it was a very inside
Country.
baseball Coen movie, like to their childhood.
Totally.
Up in the Air is a super underrated movie.
Strong.
Man. What else was it? Wait,
Avatar can get the fuck off this list. I'm sorry.
didn't that win though?
No.
Oh, what won?
The Hurt Locker.
Oh, that's right. Hurt Locker's great.
Hurt Locker's good.
That's with Renner, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah, it did win, but I didn't mention Precious on this list too.
Oh, Precious I never saw, actually.
I never did either.
I never watched it.
I have nothing.
That's another movie that just
Precious.
became like kind of a punchline as well.
Absolutely. To me, Inglourious Bastards is the best movie on this list. I'll say it against The Hurt Locker, Avatar, Blind Side, which she won for, Sandra Bullock.
She won for, but now Blindside's thought of as like kind of a joke.
It's a hokey.
It's almost feels the same thing as what American people got
right.
men in American Beauty. It's like same kind of reason.
District 9, Inglourious Bastards, Precious, A Serious Man, Up, and Up in the Air. To me, it's between Inglourious Bastards and Up in the Air. And then Hurt Locker, I would say, would be third on my list.
Yeah, I'd have to say
I like
Inglourious Bastards a lot, and we talked about it the other day how impressed I was by it, and like how it is very different from everything that Tarantino does.
Yeah,
but I probably would pick Up in the Air.
Up in the Air, I think you can watch back a little more. You know something that's always bugged me about Inglourious Bastards is the spelling of bastards. The T-E-R.
Oh, that's TRDS.
But I mean, that opening scene really is so strong.
Yeah.
And then again, we were talking about last week is when they're in the bar. That whole
it's really
that
good.
pushes it over the. I mean,
that opening scene.
I like Anna Kendrick. I like Clooney. Clooney really.
You know what? You just convinced me. Inglourious Bastards, I would still edge it out. But Up in the Air is like, if it was any other year, it would have won.
Agreed.
Like you put it the year before it wins, right? Or no, a couple years before it was some kind of lackluster year. Like it just all these things just depend on what they're up against. Because Up in the Air would have shined. Like if it wasn't the first year, they had 10. Kind of got lost in the mix, I think.
Yeah.
That is a really, really well, and it's Jake Kasdan. I think it's Lawrence Kasdan's son that did it.
Yep.
And it's a really, really cool movie. Really good movie.
Yeah.
It's also something you don't think about. Like the job they have in it, you're like, oh, it's so depressing, and it's like something you don't think people have to do.
Not Kasdan, Reitman.
Reitman, I'm sorry, Jason Reitman. I'm sorry. So out of those...
Who makes good movies, that guy?
He does, yeah.
Younger Reitman.
Yes, yeah.
He made Thank You for Smoking, I believe, too.
That's right, he did. I think he did,
Yeah,
right?
he did.
With Aaron Eckhart?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
well, there you go.
That's the decade.
That's the decade.
Best movie of the decade, out of all of them. I'll give you my
Which
three.
one? Which one?
I think 2007 has it. I think it's No Country.
Yeah. I'm like putting those out of my head.
Michael Clayton, and then I think it's There Will Be Blood.
I think you just nailed it. I think that's exactly what it is. I think that those are
really
just such strong movies. That
garbage start until you get to about
2007 is one of the best nominated years ever.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
That might be when we do Defend Your Year. That's the year, I think.
It's gonna be hard to go up against some of those 70s, but still.
We do a Taxi Driver, Raging Bull year.
I mean, there's I think Jaws, Rocky are in the same year, which is
a biggie. Yeah. Yeah, you get a little classics in there.
I think.
But like, here's the
Deer
thing:
Hunter
no
might be
country is like new classic, new classic,
Agreed.
new classic.
So, yeah.
It's insane. Well, thank you so much for doing this, buddy.
No problem. Come see us live.
Once again, come see us live October 17th at 8:30 p.m. The Fat Black Pussycat. It's the Comedy Cellar at the Fat Black Pussycat.
It's going to be a great time. Special guests, crowd interaction.
It's going to be amazing. You can go to comedycellar.com right now to make your reservations for October 17th at 8:30 p.m. Tweet at us. If you forget this info, tweet at Shawnee Time or at Andy Fiore on Twitter or on Instagram. You have the same Instagram as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Just Andy Fiore across the board.
Andy Fiore across the board. I'm at Shawnee Time. Tweet at us, Instagram us. Let us know if you want to come down. Let us know what movies you think we should do for the big show or future episodes. And let us know what you think of the show. We're at Showbiz Studios with Alex. That's showbizstudios.com. It's a YouTube page. They have a YouTube page as well as their own iTunes page. Check out all the awesome podcasts that Showbiz offers. There's tons of funny people that are our friends that do shows on this network. So check it out. And we will see you next time. And we love you really so much.
So much.
Goodbye.